The savanna biome is a high temperature location, but we're dropping moisture. So there's less moisture here than there was in the deciduous forest that we just finished discussing. Um, at, there's less here than there is in the shrubland biome that exists right next to it. So from the map you can see where the savanna exists based on where the orange color is. This little pocket here in Africa, this sort of zone right here in South America is mostly tropical rainforest, but there's that little sliver that is occupied right across here and right across here, and then places in here and here, and a little bit elsewhere across India and the top part of Australia that is that shrubland location. And feel free to go back to that other slide. You'll see how much more dense the trees were, which tells us there's some volume of moisture here. Here in the savanna, we've lost even more moisture. What we see in these trees is a upper level canopy, virtually nothing in between here, so we don't have those layers that we had in the rainforest. And in the deciduous as well, there are a few layers. We've got a tree canopy, we've got some shrubs, and then we've got some basal. So at least 3 canopies in deciduous. Here we really only have 2. An upper canopy and then this basal canopy where the grasses are. And you can see here grasses with some forbs, some shrubs in with them, all right? But really only 2. This tells me that this is a really dry location, that moisture is not really plentiful here, but there is enough moisture that allows this volume of tree to exist. And in this case, these trees are here because there is subterranean water under here somewhere. There's probably a riparian stream that is ephemeral, or there is an aquifer that is here that the roots of these trees are accessing. All right. This is a really neat part of the world, because one of the limiting factors here is fire. Fire is really important to this ecosystem. We consider it a fire-dominated ecology. Grasslands, fire is common on, and fire is a rejuvenating element on the landscape. We have sort of villainized fire over the last century and said it's a bad thing, and it definitely is a bad thing for the infrastructure that humans want in place. But what fire does is it cleans out all the stuff that is rubbish, all the dead litter, all of the weak and injured plants, all of the senior citizen plants. If the fire doesn't come in and clean that up, what ends up happening is you're stressing the energy capacity of these ecosystems. So whether it is a forest in California or the Rocky Mountains or the savannas, fire is really critical. When we stop having fire, when we suppress fire, the fires get worse, because what we do is we load the tinder, we load the fuel, and we end up getting bigger and bigger fires. So fire is kind of critical on the landscape, and fire acts as a way of returning nutrients back to the soil, which then is going to keep these plants healthy. If fire isn't permitted in these landscapes, then not only are we creating old forests and old grasslands that are kind of geriatric, they require lots and lots of energy to survive, is there's not enough energy in the nutrient form for them because the fire's not putting it into an accessible nutrient mechanism. So you needed that fire to be that delivery mechanism for that. So this is the savanna.